Emerging Threats Hub. The Atlantic Fracture and the Gulf Fire.
Welcome back to the Emerging Threats Hub. I am Sebastian. There is a prevailing myth in international relations, a story we tell ourselves about the inevitability of conflict. The realist narrative suggests that power is a finite resource, and that war is merely a mechanical result of opposing forces colliding. But if the events of April 2026 have taught us anything, it is that the world is not a machine. It is a construction. It is built, and it can be unbuilt. Today, we are looking at a geopolitical landscape that has shifted beneath our feet with terrifying speed. The headlines are dominated by the fire over the Gulf, U.S. fighters falling from Iranian skies, and the roar of bomber campaigns. But beneath the smoke, a far more profound structural shift is occurring. The transatlantic alliance, the bedrock of the post-World War II order, is fracturing. This episode, we are asking the question that keeps policymakers awake at night. If NATO refuses to fight America's war in Iran, does the alliance survive? Or does this forced divorce actually signal the birth of a new, more autonomous European security architecture? We will dissect the air war over Iran, the paper tiger rhetoric threatening Washington, and the industrial innovations reshaping how wars are fought. Stay with us. We are not just watching history happen, we are analyzing the architecture of stability.
The Flashpoint, air war over Iran.
Let us begin where the flames are hottest, the skies over Iran. The news cycle has been relentless, but we need to pause and look at the tactical reality. We have seen the reports: an F-15E Strike Eagle shot down, an A-10 Warhawk crash landing. These are not just statistics. They are indicators. For decades, the United States has operated under the assumption of air superiority, the idea that the sky belongs to them. But in the Strait of Hormuz, that assumption is being violently challenged. Reports indicate that despite the largest U.S. naval presence in decades, the strait remains effectively blocked. We are witnessing a concept known as air denial. Iran is not trying to control the sky. They are simply trying to make it too dangerous for anyone else to use it. And they are succeeding. When you see a platform as formidable as the F-15E, callsign Mudhen, falling from the sky, it tells you that Iranian air defense capabilities are resilient and integrated. But there is a human element here that is often lost in the strategic maps. We have reports of a U.S. pilot on the run in hostile territory. The mechanics of a personnel recovery mission in a country like Iran, where every pair of eyes is a sensor, is a logistical nightmare. It forces a superpower to divert immense resources to save a single life. This is the asymmetric resolve trap. The United States has the firepower to destroy nuclear sites, yes. But as we are seeing, strategic bombing does not always equate to strategic victory. The cost of projecting power into a denied environment is rising by the day.
The diplomatic earthquake.
Now, let us pivot to the geopolitical shockwave that follows every missile launch: the fracture of the Atlantic Alliance. It is rare for a sitting U.S. president to threaten the very alliance that defined American hegemony. Yet, that is the reality of April 2026. The rhetoric labeling NATO a paper tiger is not just noise. It has operational consequences. We have seen Spain and Italy formally deny base access to U.S. military aircraft. This is significant. In the heat of a major conflict, logistics are everything. When an ally, fellow NATO members, refuses overflight or refueling rights, they are effectively voting no on the war. They are signaling that their national interest, or perhaps their adherence to international law, outweighs the demands of alliance solidarity. From a constructivist perspective, this is fascinating. An alliance is not a physical structure. It is a set of shared ideas and expectations. When those ideas diverge, the alliance dissolves. The United States views the Iran war as a necessary security measure. The Europeans, largely, view it as a destabilizing catastrophe. However, this is where we look for the solution-oriented path. While headlines scream about the end of NATO, the European Union is activating Article 42.7, the Mutual Defense Clause of the EU Treaty. This is not just a reaction. It is an attempt to construct a new reality. Europe is attempting to decouple its security from the unpredictability of Washington. Is this the end of the West? Or is it the painful, necessary birth of a more balanced, autonomous partner? I would argue it is the latter. A Europe capable of defending itself is a Europe that can say no to wars it deems illegitimate. That is not weakness. That is agency.
The industrial base reality.
Let's talk about the machinery behind the war, the underlying systems. Realist theory loves to count tanks and planes, but a war is fought with industrial capacity. A report that caught my eye this week suggests the U.S. is running critically low on Tomahawk cruise missiles after only 1 month of high-intensity combat. 1 month. This reveals a critical fragility. For decades, the West has relied on precision munitions that are expensive and slow to produce. When you use them faster than you can build them, you run into a wall. You cannot 3D print a Tomahawk overnight, yet. But the private sector is reacting. We are seeing the rise of portable interceptor factories, shipping containers equipped to build missiles closer to the front lines. This decentralization of the defense industrial base is a direct response to the attrition we are seeing. This brings me to a story that perfectly encapsulates the shifting nature of warfare. The CEO of Rheinmetall, the German defense giant, reportedly belittled Ukrainian drone innovation, claiming it couldn't match Western standards. The backlash was swift. Why? Because in Ukraine, innovation is life or death. We are seeing Housewives and small startups building drones that are outperforming billion-dollar systems. This is the new arsenal. Agile, cheap, and ubiquitous. The future of defense isn't just about massive contracts for heavy tanks. It's about the democratization of production. The country that can iterate fastest wins. And right now, the innovators in Kyiv are teaching the world a lesson that boardrooms in Europe are struggling to accept.
Under the radar.
And now, time to go under the radar. While the world's cameras are fixed on the smoke over the Persian Gulf, a historic shift is occurring in the Pacific. Japan has mobilized. Under the banner of Japan First, Tokyo is shifting from its post-war pacifist constraint toward what analysts are calling allied mobilization. This isn't just a budget increase. It's a fundamental identity shift. For 70 years, Japan constructed its identity around the idea of a pacifist nation, constrained by Article 9. But with the U.S. distracted by Iran and Venezuela, Japan is realizing that the American security umbrella may have holes in it. They are not waiting for permission. They are rearming. This is constructivism in action, a state redefining its role in the international system based on a new perception of reality. If Japan goes nuclear, or even just becomes a conventional superpower again, the balance of power in Asia changes overnight. This is the ripple effect of the Iran war that no one is talking about yet, but they will be.
The path forward.
So, where does this leave us? We have an air war over Iran that is costly and indecisive. We have a diplomatic rupture in NATO that is forcing Europe towards strategic autonomy. And we have an industrial base that is being forced to evolve from heavy, centralized production to agile, decentralized innovation. The realist would tell you this is chaos, a power vacuum being filled by conflict. But I see a different pattern. I see the breakdown of an old order, yes, but also the birthing pains of a new one. The path forward requires us to move beyond the with us or against us mentality. If Europe activates Article 42.7, It creates a separate pole of power, one that can negotiate, de-escalate, and perhaps even enforce a ceasefire where the US cannot. Stability in 2026 will not come from one superpower dictating terms, but from a balance of autonomous powers willing to construct new norms of engagement. The architecture of stability is not destroyed, it is being remodeled. We must ensure the new blueprints are built on dialogue, not just deterrence. Thank you for listening to the Emerging Threats Hub. I am Sebastian. Stay vigilant.